I'm sure we all know about the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the most sacred heart of Jesus, where Jesus' heart is open and ever aflame to love the humanity with a love so deep and intense that no human mind and soul can imagine it. This Sacred Heart of Jesus is a grace to the whole human race. I'm sure you have heard about St. Margret Mary Alacoque, a marvelous saint who was blessed with the vision of the Sacred Heart of Jesus not once or twice but 4 times. But I'm pretty sure you haven't heard about today's saint, St. Claude de la Colombière, the apostle of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. This French Jesuit saint was blessed with sound intellect, a good taste for music and poetry. He had a tender heart that could vibe with all the others. St. Claude was man for all seasons. After his tertianship, he was assigned to a remote town in France named Paray-le-Monial. It is here, while he was celebrating the Mass for the Visitation Sisters, where St. Margret Mary Alacoque resided. St. Margret Mary was going to a deep inner turmoil because the sisters who lived with her misunderstood her vision of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and branded her as hypocritical, delusional, and even possessed by a demon. But the Lord reassured her that He would send her His faithful servant. When she saw Father Claude for the first time, she heard the inner voice again saying, "This is the one I'm sending you." After this, St. Margret Mary meets St. Claude and shares with him her visions and message of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. St. Claude in turn accepts to guide her as a spiritual director. It was here St. Claude received his vocation within the vocation, that is to become an apostle of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. While St. Margret Mary spent time in the cloister praying and listening to the most Sacred Heart of Jesus, St. Claude proclaimed the message and grace of the Sacred Heart of Jesus to all the people. An interesting fact is, it was Saints Claude and Margret Mary who celebrated the first ever Eucharist in honor of Sacred Heart of Jesus. Later, he went to England, which was an anti-Catholic nation then, to help people, but then he was arrested and kept in dungeons. It was here that his health began to debilitate. Later, he was released and he returned to France and died a few days later at the age of 41. In our present times, where we live in fragile bubbles of self-centeredness, St. Claude teaches us to break the thin bubble and take an extra step to live our Christian vocation of love and service.